Welcome to Confessions of a Small Biz Mama, episode 21. How to talk so little kids will listen. All right, mamas. This is a book that is life-changing if you have little kids. And they define little kids as ages like 2 to 7, okay? This book is by Joanna Faber and Julie King. And their moms wrote another book called How to Talk So Kids Will Listen and Listen So Kids Will Talk. And that book was for a little bit older kids. And I have not read that book yet because like this one kind of spoke to me. So Eric has hit the phase where like listening, cooperating has just gone out the window. Okay. He's 2.5 now. And he's decided like, I'm doing my own thing. Like you guys can do your thing. I'm going to do my thing unless I need you to be there. And then, you know, all hell breaks loose. So I was like really struggling. I'm like, what do we do? And so I remember hearing about, how to talk so kids will listen and listen so kids will talk. And when I was looking up that book, I saw this one, How to Talk So Little Kids Will Listen. And we're gonna put links to this in the show notes. And if you don't have an Audible subscription, because I actually listened to it and it was a phenomenal listen the way that they did it. The thing that's really cool about this book is that it actually comes, if you get the audio book, it comes with a PDF that's a summary of all the points. So that's really cool. That's one thing. If you ever do an audiobook, make sure you have a PDF like that, because it is like, that is gold for people like me listening to audiobooks who just like, because I listen to them like when I'm walking and stuff, so I can't take notes. So that is just gold for me. So but the audiobook is great because it actually has multiple people who are reading the book. So one of the voices, you know, is the authors. You know, there's people that play different parents because a lot of this is like stories and like parents' actual experiences. And they wrote this about groups that they were actually working with. And so it's kind of cool to have those parent voices in another voice, right? So it's not all static. So it was a really, really good listen. But what we'll do in the show notes at smallbizmama.com is we'll put our referral link to get the book from Audible. You can get a free trial from Audible. And I believe with the current link we have, you can get 2 free books, okay, during your trial. So, we will put that at smallbizmama.com. Go to podcast and the show notes for episode 21. Okay, so why is this book like so life-changing? Okay. It got my son to listen. Now, not all the time, okay, but I would say about 97% of the time. And typically when he's really struggling, it's because like he's super, super tired or he's super, super hungry. And then when we fix that, then he'll listen. So this book is broken up into a number of different sections. And what I kind of want to do is I kind of want to talk about some of my biggest takeaways from the book. So that way you can implement some things right away. It is a rather long book. I believe it was a 10-hour listen, but the way the book is broken out, you don't necessarily have to listen to the entire thing. You don't have to listen to it in order. You can, you can listen to, especially like the third, well, there's 2 parts of the book. Part 2 is like the tools in action, and it talks about, you know, here, if this is your problem, this is how you solve it. But I really would encourage you to listen to the first part of the book first, because the first section talks about really basic tools that when you implement those basic tools, everything else becomes easier. So you know, the thing that I really like about the book is that it made me think about, if I was treated the way we treat most, you know, most young children, I would probably be pretty pissy too. So they give this example in the book that, you know, imagine that you had a death in your family, right? And you're very upset. And people are just like, oh, come on, get over it already. You know, no, you don't feel sad right now. You feel happy and you're going to listen. Or it's time to get over it and move on, right? How would that make you feel? And for me, that was kind of eye-opening, right? Because how often do we do that with our little kids? You know, we say, okay, enough whining already, you know, or I know that you're upset, but let's move on. And for me, it was really, really, like, I kind of felt terrible, right? Because I'm like, oh my God, I do that. I do that, right? And I think we all do that because we're just trying to get through our day. And we're like, they're little kids. This isn't a big deal. Like, they should just move on. But the problem is, for them, it is a really big deal, right? They're, you know, when you're 2 and a toy breaks, that's a really big deal. Or, you know, you get frustrated because, you know, in your mind, you know that these 2 Legos should go together and you just can't make it happen, right? And you know it's supposed to do that. And it's funny because, like, as I get older, I'm experiencing this. And so, like, I think if you're not under 40, or if you're under 40, you may not resonate with this yet. But I found that, like, when I turned 40, there were just certain things that I knew my body should be able to do, and it's not doing it anymore. You know, you can't bend as far, you know, like I've lost some flexibility, which I'm trying to get back. And there are just certain things that you're just like, I should be able to do this, right? My knee shouldn't hurt, you know, my back shouldn't hurt. And you start to get really frustrated with yourself. And it's funny because I sit there and I'm like, that must be how Eric feels, right? Like, Eric knows that these 2 Legos should go together and he just can't make it happen. And it's frustrating. So those of you that are a little bit older parents, you know, try to channel that when you're having those issues with your kids, because I think that really helps. So, you know, a couple things that have really worked with Eric is just acknowledging, like, wow, you look like you're really frustrated. And just stop with that, you know, because that can really help. We found that drawing pictures of, like, a happy face and a sad face and maybe like an angry face, and they don't have to be great. Like, ours are like stick figures. We're not artists by any means. But that really helps because sometimes he just cannot express, right? He's 2.5. Sometimes he can't express, like, what emotion he's feeling, but he knows based off the picture, right? Don't ask a ton of questions, you know? So we don't, like, you know, I've stopped, because I used to do this. Eric, why are you upset? Eric, why are you sad? Eric, and it's like, you know, and he's trying to process. So I just say, you look like you're frustrated, or you look like you're angry. And, like, a lot of times, you know, not always, but at least he acknowledges, he'll be like, yes, you know, or no, sad. And sometimes he'll be like, yes, angry, I broke my train. And so he'll actually open up to me and tell me why he's angry. I also find too that when we acknowledge how he's feeling, it stops the meltdown. Okay, so that is super helpful. So acknowledge, you know, acknowledge how they're feeling and go with it, you know, just go, but don't try to get don't try to get them over it. Okay, so I think that that's really helpful. So we have always struggled with Eric getting dressed and Eric like following us to do the next thing that we need to do. And so one thing, and they give you a whole bunch of tips in the book, okay, but one thing that has really, really helped is to turn things into a game or make it fun. And so, like, what we used to do is we used to say, hey, are you gonna go upstairs to brush your teeth, or does mommy and daddy, you know, do mommy or daddy have to carry you? And that would cause all sorts of problems. No, I'll go. And then he would get distracted, and then he wouldn't go, and it would cause fighting, and it was not good. What we started to do is say, okay, Eric, it's time to go upstairs. Would you like to go upstairs like a frog or like a cow? Or if there's books that we were reading that day, we just got this book called Love Z, which is a great book about what love is. And Eric just absolutely loves it. We got it through Literati, which is a book service that that we just signed up for. And I'll put links to both of those in the show notes. But so now his big thing is he's really into robots. So we're like, okay, so do you want to go upstairs like a robot, or do you want to skitter like a mouse? Because there's another book called Mouse Mess that he really likes too. And so he'll be like, oh yeah, we'll skitter like a mouse. And so we're like, and we go up the stairs like that. But it's funny because we used to like fight and argue, and it was blah, right? And you know that if you've got little kids, right? And now it's fun. And it was interesting because when I first listened to the book, and I thought, oh, it's gonna be so stressful because I constantly have to think of new things, you know, how we have to make everything fun. I'm tired. I just want to go to bed. Or I just want him to go to bed. And sometimes I want to go to bed. But when I thought about how long we were fighting, right? Or trying to nag him to come upstairs or threaten him to go upstairs, or, you know, being playful is so much easier. I mean, there were some nights where it took us 10 minutes to get upstairs, you know, before I implemented this. With being playful, a minute, sometimes 2, right? It's so much easier, so much easier. So I find that really helps. Another thing that has really helped, and we don't really do this as parents, describe how you feel. So one thing that I found with Eric, and Eric tends to be, he's a pretty empathetic kid, even for 2.5. But what I found is that, like, if I'm talking to him and he's not listening, you know, and I say, Eric, mommy doesn't like it when people don't listen. Now notice I don't say, Eric, I don't like it when you don't listen. I say, well, mommy really doesn't like it when people don't listen. Or if he yells, I say, wow, oh, wow, loud noises really hurt my ears. So the reason that works is because it's not about, you're not pointing blame. You're just saying, in general, mommy doesn't like this. So it doesn't turn into mommy doesn't like you, right? Or mommy doesn't like what you're doing. It's just mommy doesn't like this. Or mommy gets sad when this happens. You know, and they use a lot of examples in the book. Like, you know, mommy gets really, you know, really scared when little kids, you know, run in the road because, you know, she's worried that they're going to get hurt. So it's not about your kid doing it. It's just about kids in general, right? same thing, in parking lots and things like that. But, mommy gets worried, when this happens, or mommy gets scared, or, things like that, because your child knows what all those emotions feel like, right? And so say, oh, I know, and your kid is, and I understand they're only, they're little, but they're still internalizing, oh, I don't want mommy to feel that way. I don't want daddy to feel that way. And so, it's funny because when I was listening to the book, I'm like, this will never work, right? This strategy will never work. That strategy will never work. And they do. They work. And there's lots of different strategies in the book. So you've got to kind of go through and figure out what strategies work for your particular kid. They also have a section in the book with how to problem solve, which has worked phenomenally well for Eric, even though he's only 2.5. I think it's pretty brilliant. They also go over, how to deal with children who, who are not neurotypical. They deal with children who, don't listen, there's lots of different scenarios that they go through. They talk about dealing with siblings, dealing with other family members. Like, it's a phenomenal book. We got a ton out of it. I know I listened to it, and then Jeff kind of overheard some of it when I was listening to it, and now he's listening to it. And I think we're both really happy with how the strategies are working. Because we're home with Eric all the time, right? We're it right now, especially with COVID. So for us to know that we have these strategies in our toolkit is just so helpful. It really is. So I would encourage you, like I said, if, you can probably get this from your library. We're going to put the links to pick it up on Amazon. It's available on Kindle. It's available on audiobook, which, like I said, phenomenal listen. It was really, really engaging to listen to. I laughed out loud a number of times. I just, I like how the book is realistic, right? Because it gives like the pushback that you're probably, as you're reading this, you're going, this is crap. This is never going to work for my kids. And then and they'll have, they'll be talking about this, in a group session, and one of the parents is like, this is never going to work, or this is going to be exhausting, or that, and you're like, yes, it is. And so you kind of feel like, yes, there are these parents in your corner, and then they come back later and they're like, all right, I was skeptical and I tried this and it worked. And then, it was a delightful listen. It was a really good production. And so again, in the show notes for the episode, we're going to put a link to Audible. If you're not currently an Audible subscriber, you can use our link to get, I believe right now, it's 2 free audiobooks if you use our link as a free trial. So hopefully that is helpful for you. If you've read this book, I'd love to know which of the suggestions, right? Which of the tips really worked for you. You can comment at smallbizmama.com, or you can go to our submission form. You can go to askkristen.net, and then that's Kristen with 2 I's, askkristen.net. And you can use that to submit feedback or to ask a question for a future episode of the show. All right, I want to thank you so much for listening. I want to thank those of you that are subscribing and are writing reviews. Thank you so much. It is so helpful when you do that because it helps other people find the show. It's really interesting how these podcast services work. It's kind of like Facebook, right? You know that the more you interact with a post on Facebook, the more Facebook shows it to other people. Well, podcasts work the same way. So when you subscribe to a podcast, when you leave a review for a podcast, when you download the episodes every week, all of the services go, oh, wow, people are really engaged with this podcast. And it tends to show that podcast to more people. So thank you so much for everything that you're doing to support the show. We really appreciate it. Please go to smallbizmama.com to check out the show notes for this episode and all of our episodes. And mamas, take care of yourself. Love you. I will see you next time.
Thank you for listening to Small Biz Mama with Kristen Ingram. If you'd like to learn how to create more margin in your life, please visit us at smallbizmama.com. That's smallbizmama.com.